Welcome viewers to EPG Pathshala lecture series for architecture. Today's topic will be georeferencing and digitization. Let us go into various aspects of how one should bring a map into life in GIS environment. Because anybody or everybody whoever intends to create a map should first make the system to understand what is that you are inputting into the system. So, in that context, georeferencing, as the name indicates, referring the drawing or map to earth coordinate system. Invariably, when one intends to get or obtain data, you will find that the data will be basically provided in non-earth coordinate system. Hence, the very objective of this particular topic is how do you georeference a non-earth coordinate system image or a drawing or a map to earth coordinate system. Also, how do you convert raster data into vector data, and of course that process includes your digitization process. Of course, previously it was all done using digitizer boards, but now everything has changed. Digitization is done in various methods. Let us see all of them. And finally, let us also see how well you can update the data. Updating of data, as you know that whatever I am going to input into the system should also understand. At the same time, I should also give some inputs or related details about that particular object which is present on the earth surface. Updation of attribute information. So, this is what is the various topics what we are going to see in this particular topic. Georeferencing or making measurements. Basically, whatever you have in the form of a drawing will all be overlaid one over the other and they will not have any adjacency. The very concept, the very importance or the very basic nature of GIS is that when you just try to place maps pertaining to different localities which are spatially placed adjacent to each other, in a drawing it will be overlaid with one over the other, one above the other, whereas in GIS it is true that it will be adjacent to each other. Likewise, you can try to incorporate or bring all the data, all the maps, all the grids, whatever you have name it as, bring it into one environment and they all be continuous, something like a mosaic, putting them together. So, this neighborhood context will help you or will definitely be such an important component in GIS which will help you to make measurements, that is quantitatively analyze the data. Information could always be either qualitative or quantitative, and this context to make measurements on your map, especially in a GIS environment, you will have to make the system to understand that particular map to which part of the world it belongs to. So, if you can define the location, then measurement becomes easy and you can make the measurement from fixed places. Similarly, for example, when you just talk about distance from equator or from the Greenwich meridian, that is how you make, isn't it? You just try to make measurements from point A to point B, that is point of origin to point of destination. Is that what we will be doing? You can also measure or make measurements on the ordering part. For example, many times postal codes are used to, that is what we call it as address matching. You just given data with respect to addresses of an individual or various people in a given locality and you ask the system to mark it. So, you do not require anything like a location there, like what we have done in the previous case. You will be in a position to get or make the system to understand where is X, Y, Z in the same locality, in a given locality rather. You can use the address of individual and then try to get where they are located. Of course, in some cases either we do not order that or we do not make any measurement. So, directly you can also locate oneself on the earth surface. What is the best method of doing it? There are various methods in doing it. Incidentally, all the data whatever is available till date, majority of the data rather, especially in India, are referred to say your latitude and the longitude coordinate system, or we call simple words geographical coordinate system. Whereas most of the maps which are available presently, or the maps which are available elsewhere in other parts of the world, are all, so it is not that we are going to work only in Indian data. We may be in a position, or there may be a requirement where we may have to work with say some foreign country. In such cases, they are invariably using say your UTM coordinate system. In the case of your latitude longitude, we make measurements, you know that, or we have seen that in earlier topics. We use the DMS, degrees, minutes and seconds, converting into decimal degrees, and then we make the system to understand the coordinate of that particular point which I am going to refer to Earth in degrees and minutes and seconds, that is DMS, or we also call it as DD, decimal degrees. So, we will be in a position to get the exact location of the point depending upon a very important context, namely the resolution of the map. For example, for a given point, you can go from a microsecond to a second to a minute to a degree. If your map is a very small scale where you do not have option for a minute and ruled out is your seconds, then resolution of the map plays an important role to decide what could be the possible way in which you will be referring that particular map to Earth coordinate system, which is of accurate one. So, to get the accurate results, resolution of the map or the drawing is very important. So, you can make measurements between 2 points or 2 pairs of locations, that is what I tell you, point of origin and say point of destination. It also supports various analysis. It is not that only that when you are going to convert the data from GSA, from non-Earth coordinate system, or making the system all these things. The more important thing is that what is that I am going to do? Instead of having it in a sheet of paper on my desk, I am going to have it in the same thing on the monitor. That is not going to have any use. That is the reason we are going to convert this data into a feature which is readable, which is manageable, which is analyzed, which can be rather analyzed by us. That is the purpose of your say your various methods of converting your raster data into vector data. What exactly we see for advantage in the case of is that you know that the Earth entire thing is divided into various degrees 0 to 359, totaling 360 degrees. All the lines are drawn from the center, all these points you are very much aware. So, when you want to make measurements, it is very important that you should take care of the rotation of the Earth, hence these measurements are made in such a way that there will not be any effect, or because of the rotation there should not be any effect of your measurements which are made. It should not be erroneous rather. So, in such cases we take into consideration Earth's rotation and the center of the Earth mass and the Greenwich meridian. The other method I was talking to you, or I was telling you about, is the Universal Transverse Mercator or UTM coordinate system. Of course, that comes under the UTM projection system, and you know what is coordinate system and your projection system. Now, here in the case of UTM, it is well known, they use, we have seen the details earlier. So, let us just get into one particular the method is that it is in easting and northing. In the case of your latitude longitude, you will have the, I told you, degrees, minutes and seconds, the units. Here it will be easting and the northing. As the name indicates, easting refers to your longitudes and the northing refers to your latitudes. So, these two are the methods and way in which you can refer the non-Earth coordinate system drawing to a Earth coordinate system, UTM or your latitude geographic coordinate system or your UTM coordinate system. How to georeference? As the name indicates, referring the object to Earth system. How to georeference an image using ArcGIS? There is no compulsion that we should use ArcGIS. It is one of the major acceptable software, hence I have used the word ArcGIS here. Or we can also use MapInfo, we can also use ERDAS. There are so many software which are available, and now very popular software is becoming is your OS which is independent, or OS which is free, OS independent software, your QGIS, a free software which is available, and it has become very popular and it is very useful also, and it runs somewhat similar to your MapInfo or GIS, not much of variation. Let us see into that. what is that we do basically is that a map which is provided to you will be a hard copy paper or a paper copy or hard copy, and we scan that one and that results into a image. So, that will be your basic input. It could also be downloaded from say satellite data or satellite, or it could also be downloaded from internet, wherein which we will be in a position to have the map. It is not that always we have to scan the data. We import the image which is scanned as a JPEG format, a very common format, or a TIFF format is also there. This could be done in any other raster format also, which is applicable or which can be analyzed either in ESRI or your ArcMap software, or then into assign the real world coordinates to the image. That is the purpose. Scan it, store it, and then assign the data. Why do you require to assign your coordinate system? As I was telling you, it is a must that you have to do. Unless otherwise you assign a coordinate system, it will not be possible for you to analyze the data. Ultimate aim of any kind of GIS application is to analyze the data rather than just storing the data. So, let us go into the various aspects of georeferencing and digitization. That process is nothing but how do you correctly position the data to its true world location. That is a purpose of your georeferencing. As I was telling you, georeferencing is nothing but the act of you just assign location to tons of material information which is available. Every point on the earth's surface has got a coordinate, and that depends on the scale of the map, so that you will be in a position to make the system to understand the point of the reference what I give there has got a specific coordinate. And you please remember that a coordinate once given cannot be replaced, in the sense one object could possibly be at one particular position. You cannot change that unless otherwise I move the object. For example, if we just take this room, I am sitting on this particular chair. This particular chair has got 4 legs and each of them will have a coordinate, bounds rather. Unless otherwise I move this chair, this is a permanent feature. So, similar to that, every object on the earth's surface, depending upon the type of object, it is permanent as long as you do not remove that or move that from that particular point. Hence, the coordinate of any object is unique in its own sense. Why unique? Because as I just telling you an example, you cannot change what is present here. What is present at that particular point is that. So, let me say for example, mouse. When I am just putting the mouse here somewhere, it has got a position. When I want to move, I will have to move like this. Unless till such time I move, the mouse will be at the same point. So, its value will be unique in nature, and you can also importantly share this to different users, so that everybody uses the data. There is no point in going on developing data or information about a particular object by different people. A once created database should be used by many people for any kind of application. And you should remember that whatever I create, it is throughout a long period time, it will be persistent. It will not change for a short period of time. As I was just telling you that any kind of data, whatever I obtain, say for example, data which is obtained from agencies, data which is downloaded by me, or a data which is obtained from Survey of India, one of the major agency who provides the data, it may or may not contain details about its location, namely the geographic coordinates. If a coordinate is present in the map, it becomes much easier for me to georeference that. If it is not available, it is not that it is impossible, but it is relatively difficult. I have to obtain the coordinates from elsewhere and then incorporate in the system. So, this is the way in which you get. Many times you get the data in raster format. You also get data which is in vector format, especially the DWG, the drawing files. These are non-earth coordinate system data, or refer to a ordinary rectangular coordinate system. That is, the vector data itself is available, but it is not to earth coordinate system. In such a case, we may have to refer that particular thing to earth coordinate system, and that is called as your spatial adjustment, which will not be with any coordinates. Let me just show you a map. where in which on the right side you find the map. This particular map is it could be anything for that matter. So, let me just tell you, this is only a Tamil Nadu state map. This map is in non-earth coordinate system. When I just try to locate or find out the coordinates of any particular point, I will find here, and that will be in your non-earth values, feet, meters, depending upon what kind of setting up you have given for that particular system. Now, the role is that to make it understandable by the system. The moment I just open the image, it will ask me for two options. Do you want to simply display the data or you want to register the data? When I display the data, it is just a method of displaying however you display the image in an ordinary map rather. Similarly, here also that also will be there. So, there will not be any change for that. So, that is very important to remember that. So, by registering the data, you make the system to understand, or you just georeference the data. By displaying, you will be just looking at the data, how you use it in a paint shop or whatever is the other method of doing looking at the data. Now, here you see, this is the option you get, an option which will help you to register the data, where you have the latitude and the longitude provided here, and the intersection of this will give you the coordinates x comma y, and you are very sure and confident of what is x and what is y. A little mistake on that part, if you just interchange, this part of Tamil Nadu will go to the other side of the globe. So, you should be very sure of what exactly you are doing, what is x and what is y. Now, you see here, I just zoom this particular image to a particular point and I have the values of say 77 and 13 degrees. So, here the resolution is so coarse, the values are in degrees, it is not even minutes in this particular context. Of course, you have here, and this particular point is the intersection of your 77 and 13. What is that you are supposed to do is that give the values of 77 and 13 at that particular point, and you can see here the values which are likely to be displayed. At present, we are not done anything. Now, when I just prick at this particular point, so that particular value I will have to enter. I may enter the values as 77 and then 13, the longitude and latitude, and say yes. And I move the map to the right, and now I have a new set of values. I just give that particular value, the second point, the same 13, and this is 80. Of course, that is just hidden here. You can see the value here, 80. And then when I just give the value, it just goes on taking n number of points. For any kind of a map, you require only say 4 points. 4 points are more than sufficient to give a good quality output. Once I start giving that, you can see that it appears as though there is an error there in the pixel on the right side at the top. You will find that error appears, but it is not true. I have not still accepted the last point. Once I give the first 3 points, there will not be any error, because it will not be in a position to understand. Only when you give the fourth point, it will appear like error, but once I say yes to that, let me say OK. So, obviously, you will find the error is almost nil or just nil throughout. That means, I have made the system to understand that every part of it here, every intersection, I could have given any kind of, there are hundreds and hundreds of control points here, other we call it as the ground control point or the xy value. So, now what I have done is that I have converted the non-earth coordinate system drawing to earth coordinate system map. So, that is what is the major difference between a drawing and a map. Almost all the features, the characteristics of a drawing and a map are same, excepting that a drawing is a non-earth coordinate system, whereas a map is a earth coordinate system. So, that is what is your. So, you will find that this particular thing will be in a earth coordinate system, and we can also see that when you see this is the new one, and now the values, when I just move the mouse, and you will find the values are in your longitude and latitude. So, this is one of the simplest methods of converting a non-earth coordinates. Very simple, isn't it? It is not very complicated. Only thing is that you will have to identify the x comma y wherever it is, however it is. If it is already available in the drawing or a map, it is not a big issue. Otherwise, you will have to make some effort to get the xy coordinates from somewhere. Now, this is how you can just try to make a comparison. A non-earth coordinate system and an earth coordinate system, both are same. Now, any kind of changes, any kind of modification, now as it is, you just find it is a replica of what I had in my hand. I had scanned that and I brought this one. Now, I have converted that to earth coordinate system, but still this particular image, it's still an image. It cannot be edited, it cannot be measured, and nothing can be done. Of course, you can make measurements physically because it's an earth coordinate system, but you want to make the system to separate them, or you want to view different districts in a given state. It is not possible, isn't it? Because you don't have an option here, because all of them appears to be together, and it is just an image, it's not a vector data. Now, coming to, that's why I just done one method. In that method, where you had data or a map with say latitude, longitude provided to you. Now, I am going to use another software just to differentiate. I have just started working on, I have just downloaded say a map from internet, or my agency for whom I am going to work or from whom I am going to learn something. They have given me a map and they have just asked me to use that map for developing or working on their project. So, what is that I am supposed to do? Just you should be you should understand that this particular software is a very versatile software, and definitely it is much easier to use when compared to other software. Let us see how a image what I have obtained from an agency is actually available in a soft copy format, and it is going to be displayed in this software, and then how I am going to work on that. So, let us make sure that the toolbar, namely georeference toolbar, is on. So, when I just open like this georeference toolbar, it will appear here on the monitor. You can see here, before going into the say actual digitization, it is very important to set the data frame, because in the case of your map info, it is not required. You could have just directly done that because the settings are like that always. But in the case of your ArcInfo, it is very important that you have to go for data frame properties. The properties which will decide the frame or the bounds of your map, what is going to be displayed, for which you have various options. Normally, as I was telling you, you just go for your geographic coordinate system, and then you just make selections according to the requirement, wherein which you can see here there will be so many options. Once you start working on that, you will get an idea. WGS 84, one of the most used coordinate system, and along with your say apart from latitude longitude coordinate system. In the sense, when I am using WGS 84, incidentally it is World Geodetic System, WGS 84, year 1984 is the year when, which was the period when they have just actually developed this, but unfortunately till date there is no updation beyond 1984. It is almost 32 years since they have done that, but still it is a very effective system. In fact, we should really appreciate the way in which it was done in 84. There were not so many advanced equipments, or the technology which is available now was not there then, but now you have a lot of advancement, but still this holds good. That is, they have done a geodetic survey for the entire earth, and then they have created XY for every point known on the earth. You can just obtain that. Now, you can see how you input the data. So, as usual, of course, I am not going to try to teach you what is ArcGIS. What we are going to do is that add data. When I say add data, automatically the system will ask you where from you want to add the data. You just choose this one particular image, and then say yes. As soon as I give this data or features, it will ask me whether you want to construct or build pyramids for that. I have to say yes or no. Obviously, it is always better to say yes, it will create the pyramids. Once it is done, say yes to that, it will just display that image. You can see this. This is an image of a particular town which has been obtained by us for a particular purpose. Now, this is a drawing which is developed by somebody, and this has to be brought into my GIS environment, which is understood by the system, for which, as I just told you, you have to go for say georeference. You will have to use georeference. It is one option what you had in the case of MapInfo. Here it is called georeference option. You just once you click on that, so the system will have a option of say georeference. So, once I have the georeference, it will ask me what is that you want to do, which image you want to do that. In the drop down, you will have n number of images. You choose one image which you have already loaded here. From that, you start now and making the system to understand. Now, here the context is that you do not have latitude, longitude, you do not have any other data, you do not have any kind of coordinate system here. Then how am I going to register the data? Isn't it? It is a very difficult thing. do not worry, nothing will is impossible or difficult. Now, this particular thing, because one way we are very lucky, in our days for long time we were using various methods. Go to the field, find out the points of intersection of a road, bridge, or a river and a bridge, and a road and a road, wherever you find a very unique intersection. We used to collect the data from that, from the field XY, come back to the laboratory and then register them. In fact, there were not even GPS available in those days, but it is not like that nowadays. Now, we have various options of getting the data into the system. Now, what we are going to do is that we have the advantage of the Google Earth. So, whenever you get an image or a drawing which does not have a coordinate system, you need not have to bother about the coordinates, unless otherwise depending upon the accuracy with which you are going to do. For most of the projects we can use Google, and many times if you need very accurate, you will have to go for a DGPS survey. Conduct a DGPS survey in the field, bring the XY coordinates of known points, identify those known points on the drawing and then give the values. This DGPS survey is invariably done for, say, in the case of your satellite data. Whenever you have satellite data, you use that. See, what I have done, or we are going to do now, is that we are going to get the ground control points of this particular point of intersection from, say, Google. So, I have just identified this particular point, and you can also see the next one, I mean here. So, the same point I can see at both places, isn't it? You can see the water body, and this is the tank which is available here, you see here, and the water body, and the previous image is from your, say, Google, the water body, and there is a ground or a tank, whatever is that. This is a object with the compound wall, and then now I am able to see the drawing as well as from the Google the same point of interest. So, what I will be doing is that I will be collecting the data from the Google XY from whatever is the point of interest and then incorporate that. So, let me say from this particular point I am going to use, and I have this one. I will go to this particular point and get the XY of that particular point, and you can get the, you can see the XY here. Once you get the XY of that particular point, you come back to the GIS, where in which you give the value at this particular point, the X and Y. Very easy, isn't it? It is not difficult. Only thing is that you will have to identify the exact location of what you are seeing on the map on the Google. So, that will be convenient for you to understand. Now, once to georeference, I will have to use this tool. So, a small tool is there, isn't it? So, come here and then double click here, and then it will ask me what is that you want to do. It will ask you what are the values you want to incorporate into that. So, to get the XY, go to the, you can see here Google. In Google, you can get the value here, and once you know the X and the Y values, it is very easy. Just copy this value, copy and then incorporate here. Now, you know where the point, you know where it is, you can just, you have to incorporate the values here, and then it becomes much easier for you to understand now. Now, once I start working on your various things like so this XY, you will get X and Y of various points, say 1 point, 2 point, just to go identify the points, incorporate the values, and then ultimately you will be in a position to register that. See, the 3 points are there, not much of error is there, and you will finally get the 4 points, and all the 4 points will be almost literally error free or 0 error percentage of error. So, what is that we have learned in this context is that when I have a GIS map or a map with coordinates or a map without coordinates, it becomes much easier for me to incorporate that in a GIS environment by just getting the XY values from an external source, from field or from the Google, or when I have the data within my within the map rather, I will be in a position to register the data. So, with this we will conclude this particular session. Thank you.